Hello, I am Tiffany Watson, Director of the Edward J. Lewis II Lawyers in the Classroom program. Thank you for joining us for the Lawyers in the Classroom program series. Today, we'll hear from volunteer attorney Melissa Green about her volunteer experience and why she partnered with the Lawyers in the Classroom program. Welcome, Melissa.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Tiffany. I'm glad to talk to you today. Both of my parents were teachers. So I remember sitting in their classrooms, going to visit their classrooms and seeing how they interacted with the students. And so education has always been something that is really important to me. And then through my career, I've worked with our law students. I coached gymnastics. So like working with young people and the whole just teaching and mentoring and all of that sort of stuff is very important to me. And it's something that I truly enjoy. So when I moved to Chicago, I'm like, I need to get involved in things in the city. What do I want to do? I am not a person that wants to go to the bar association and sit on a bar committee. That's just not my personal testimony. I enjoy doing, I wanted to find something that I truly enjoyed. And so I found this program. I found Lawyers in the Classroom. And I thought to myself, okay, so I get to go into the classroom. I get to work with these young kids. I get to teach them about, myself a bit. I get to teach these lessons. I get to interact. This is perfect for me. And honestly, it's been the right decision. And I love all of the interactions that I've had in the classrooms. So we did no electronic communication, which is actually, as I started reading it, a lesson that I had done before. So I was very familiar with the lesson. So it was very interesting to see the different reactions and hear some of the different things that the kids in this particular classroom spoke about. But we did no electronic devices, where the school has created a policy that says no electronic devices are allowed, with the intent of the policy to be that they don't want people to cheat in the classroom, or they don't want items getting stolen. They don't want students being distracted. So they just made a blanket no electronic devices policy. So what I really liked is at the beginning, we talked about what is the letter of the rule versus what is the intent of the rule. And we had kind of some back and forth, and it took a minute of kind of me explaining what we meant by the letter, what we meant by the rule, and then my partner teacher in the classroom kind of adding to that for the kids to try to finally truly understand what we were talking about. But I think that what they took from that is that rules should say what you're actually trying to get at, and that they should provide a little bit more detail than just saying no electronic devices. And so the part that I really enjoyed was at the end, where they had to make up the rule, where they had to write their own rule and to say, how would you change it? What would your rule say? And they did an excellent job of saying, well, I would write the rule to say, no electronic devices unless permission from the principal or the teachers, or no electronic devices in the classroom except for emergency situations. And so they really touched on kind of, if the intent is to make sure that kids are focused, or the intent is to make sure that kids aren't cheating, or, you're not trying to get rid of one of the examples is, what if somebody had a glucose monitoring machine? Well, that's technically an electronic device. Are you going to prevent them from bringing that into school? Right. And so it was all of these kind of nuanced discussions that the kids brought out, which it just made me extremely excited to see, and of course we're virtual. And so I wasn't seeing all of it, but the way that they were all typing and they were really interacting with me, even if it was just through the chat, it was just great. Honestly, I benefit for this program because I get the energy from the children. Like, I get the energy from the students. And so when I started my session last Friday, I was saying hello and introducing myself and how's everybody doing? And there was the feelings chart that was on there that was saying, from 10 to, from 1 to 10, tell me how you guys are feeling. And everybody was putting in their numbers. And then I got well, how are you feeling? What number was yours? And I was like, oh, okay. And so, I put in my number and then it was, well, why are you feeling that way? And I was like, wait a minute, hold on here. And so I get an excitement and an energy from them. It makes me want to do this type of thing more. And so it makes me want to further educate, whether it is seventh graders or eighth graders, or think about ninth graders, and it really kind of gets me going on how can I be a better teacher for youth and for younger people that can keep them, whether it is get them interested in the law or get them understanding their constitutional rights.
Yeah.
And so I get so much from it, just from a energy perspective, that they just make me want to make sure that I'm continuing to do things that can help younger people, and especially younger people of color, understand their rights and maybe get them into our profession. I think what I've liked, and obviously I'm gonna go to South Shore, or go to South Shore this Friday as well, and so I'm excited to teach another lesson. I think that probably the experience that I think of the most is having been at Perkins Bass and seeing different classrooms go through, is walking the hallway and having a kid recognize me and be like, oh, I remember you were in this, that, and the other. Because I think one year I did sixth and then seventh. And so I was seeing the same kids and kind of having them remember me and remember things that I said. And in my mind, I'm like, that to me must have made an impact on them. And so that made me feel like what I have said and what I'm standing in the classroom talking about is impactful. And at the end of the day, when when my time is called and I am no longer on this earth, that is what I want. I want to be able to have said that I made an impact on someone. And whether it was one person in that classroom or two or whomever, as long as I made an impact on somebody, then I was not here in vain.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Melissa, for sharing your thoughts, for your sharing your experiences, your highlights. We're so happy that you continue to be a part of the Lawyers in the Classroom program. To learn more about the Lawyers in the Classroom program, please go to www.chicagobar.org/chicagobar/LIC. Thank you so much, Melissa.